Hi, I'm Dave with Empress Effects, and I'm here at Music City, Canada to talk about some of our pedals. Our newest pedal is the Heavy Menace Distortion in Gate. It's an evolution of our original Heavy pedal, which is a 2-channel distortion. Each channel has independent controls. It's got great high gain sounds. It's got really powerful EQ, and it's got an adaptive noise gate, which a lot of players really loved. With the Heavy Menace, we've added enhancements in all of those areas in a new compact form factor, so it's a really versatile distortion pedal. The first major new addition is a new Lite-ish mode, in addition to the original heavy and heavier sounds. This is still very much a distortion, but it's more of a low to mid gain sound, so it adds a little bit more versatility for things like classic crunch. Here's what this sounds like. As I said, we do have the original heavy and heavier sounds in here. As I step through these, you're going to hear progressively more saturation and more high frequency content. So once again, here's light-ish. Here's heavy. And here's heavier. So whether you want something that's kind of classic and crunchy or really high modern gain, you can find those between the 3 available distortion modes. The next major change on the Heavy Menace is with the mid-range EQ. On the original Heavy, you could set your mid-range frequency independently per channel to either 250 Hz, 500 Hz, or 2 kHz. So you've got a lot of options for quickly dialing in a sound. On the Heavy Menace, your mid-range frequency is now fully variable and over a wider range, going from 200 Hz to 2.5 kHz. So with this EQ control, you can quickly dial in something that's sort of classic, vintage with pushed mids. Or something that's modern and really scooped. So in addition to that 3-band EQ that has bass, mid-range, and treble, there's also the weight control. This controls a high-pass filter partway through the distortion circuit, so it's great for really tightening up a low end. This is with it fully open, where it's letting all of the bass through. We hear that bass is really thick and full, but if I was doing something maybe down-tuned, if I wanted something with a much tighter low end, something a little bit more percussive, as I start to dial this back, it's going to filter those frequencies out. So we hear it tightens up for something that's really fast and responsive. The next major feature of the Heavy Menace is the noise gate. This is an adaptive noise gate, which means that it responds to your playing. So if it detects a fast stop, it's going to clamp down immediately. Now, if I'm letting a note sustain, it's going to detect that and have a much slower fade. So it's responding to your playing. It's also worth noting that we're playing this Fender Telecaster with single coil pickups, which is not something you might traditionally think of in a high gain application. So if I were to turn off the noise gate, that's what we've got in the signal. But with the noise gate on the Heavy Menace, it stays totally quiet unless I'm playing. We've also added a gate key input to the Heavy Menace. This is great for players who are stacking gain pedals before the Heavy Menace in their signal chain. A problem in that application is, as you step on other distortion pedals, it changes the input level relative to the threshold of your noise gate, so your noise gate might respond unpredictably. Using the gate key input, you can take a pedal like the Empress Buffer or Buffer Plus and split a clean signal that goes to the key input. That signal is never going to change, so you set your threshold based on that signal and get consistent noise gating regardless of how your pedals change as you turn things on and off. So the Heavy Menace offers versatile distortion sounds, powerful EQ, and a great noise gate. It's a really powerful addition to your pedal board if you need any kind of distortion sound, and I strongly recommend that you come out to Music City, Canada to check it out.